One of the hardest parts of math is going from English to math. These are also known as word problems, story problems, or real-world problems. But one of the main reasons math is required in schools is because it can be used to model real-world problems. So let's get started. Today we will continue practicing writing equations. For some, how to get the answers may be obvious, and you may not need to write an equation to find the solution. That is great if you can see the solution from the start. But you should also try to write an equation to solve the problem. If you practice writing equations now, even when the answer is obvious, it will become easier to write equations when the solution is not as obvious, and you need an equation to find the answer. So on Friday, Tim had $29. On Saturday, he made money raking leaves for a neighbor, and he now has $41. How much money did he make raking leaves? So when we write an equation to find an unknown value, in this case the money he made raking leaves, we need to start by defining a variable. Well, let's start with the question being asked. How much money did he make raking leaves? So that unknown variable, and we'll say the unknown variable is x, is the money made raking leaves. So that is our unknown variable. That's the value we want to find. So what do we know? Well, we know on Friday that he had $29. So this is how much he had on Friday. And then on Saturday, he made some more money. And we don't know what that is. This is our unknown value. And we have called that x. And then combined, that's $41. So an equation is $29 plus x is equal to 41. And then we'll solve for x. We'll subtract 29 from both sides to isolate our unknown variable. And we get x equal to 12. So we need to answer our question. The question was, how much money did he make raking leaves? Well, Tim made $12 raking leaves. Again, so the answer isn't 12, which is what we got when we solved the equation. It's $12. We have to add that unit to it as well. And as is always the case, we're going to check our answer. So he had $29. He raked leaves on Saturday and made $12. So that means this is $41 combined. And that is what we expect. Let's try another one. So Juan took 16 minutes to run 2 miles. Mark ran the same distance 3 minutes faster. How long did it take Mark to run 2 miles? So once again, we'll set our unknown variable to answer this question. How long did it take Mark to run 2 miles? So we'll let the unknown variable x be equal to the minutes Mark ran. Let's see what we know. Well, we know Juan, and he took 16 minutes to run this distance. Whether it's 2 miles or 20 miles, we're actually never going to use this number right here. We just know he ran for 16 minutes, and Mark ran that same distance. Now, when Mark ran, he did it in shorter time. His time was faster, so his time was smaller. We don't know what this is. This is x. And we know that this distance right here is 3. So writing an equation, we get x plus 3 is equal to 16. And then solving that equation, we get x equal to 13. So answering the question on how long did it take Mark to run 2 miles, Mark ran 2 miles in 13 minutes. So checking the answer, so we have Mark ran it in 13 minutes, and then Juan ran it 3 minutes slower. So if Mark was 3 minutes faster, then Juan would be 3 minutes slower. So that's 13 plus 3, and that's equal to 16 minutes. And that is the time it took Juan to run those 2 miles. Finally, we have Nathan owns X Green Lantern comic books and X minus 4 Superman comic books. If he has a total of 64 Superman and Green Lantern comic books, how many Green Lantern comic books does he own? So we've already defined our unknown variable. So they're asking for how many Green Lantern comic books does he own? So this is our unknown, X, and it's the number of Green Lanterns. And again, this is what we're looking for. So this is our unknown value. And we're told that the number of Supermans is X minus 4. So X minus 4 is the number of Superman comic books that he has. Now the total between those two, well, we're going to add those two together. So we're going to take the number of Green Lantern comic books that Nathan owns, and we're going to add the number of Superman comic books. Well, we've been given the total. The total value is 64. So we have 64 equal to, well, the number of Green Lanterns, that's X, and the number of Supermans is X minus 4. So this is our first equation. We can simplify down the right side. We have x plus x, so that's 2x minus 4. So now we'll solve this equation. We'll add 4 to both sides. We get 68 equal to 2x. Then dividing both sides by 2, we get x equal to 34. So our answer is Nathan has 34 Green Lantern comic books. So let's check our answer. Now if he has 34 Green Lantern comic books, that means our X value is 34. And our Superman value is going to be 30. So he has 34 Green Lanterns plus 30 Supermans. That gives us a total of 64 comic books, which was the value that was given to us. A great way to learn is to practice on your own. We will discuss in a bit, but go ahead and pause your screen and do these 2 problems. So last week, Mary ran 30 miles more than Rachel. Mary ran 49 miles. How many miles did Rachel run? So let's go ahead and set our unknown value to the question being asked, which is how many miles did Rachel run? And I went ahead and used the variable r for Rachel. So r is equal to the miles Rachel ran, and that's our unknown value. And in a sense, it looks like this little block right here. So we have r for the number of miles that Rachel ran. Now Mary, well, she ran 30 miles more. So this is the total amount Rachel ran plus 30. And her total miles were 49. So now we have the equation r plus 30 is equal to 49. Solving that equation, we get r equal to 19. So Rachel ran 19 miles. So let's check that answer. So if Rachel ran 19 miles, that means this value right here for Rachel is 19. So Mary ran 30 plus 19, and that's equal to 49. And that's the value given to us in the problem. Yes, it's important that we get this answer, that Rachel ran 19 miles. But you also want to practice writing these equations that will lead to the solution. And oftentimes coming up with that equation, is more difficult than actually getting the answer. But eventually we'll get to the point that we cannot find this answer without first producing an equation. So focus on improving this skill of writing equations. For the second problem, we have Ryan bought X pineapples and X plus 5 apples. If he bought a total of 13 pieces of fruit, how many pineapples did he buy? Again, the question is, how many pineapples did he buy? So our unknown variable X is going to be the number of pineapples that he bought. And so pineapples is X, and apples is X plus 5. And the total will be number of pineapples plus number of apples, and that's going to equal 13. So if pineapples is X and apples is X plus 5, we're going to sum those up. We get the equation 2X plus 5 equal to 13. Solving for X, we get X equal to 4. So Ryan bought 4 pineapples. So checking our answer, if Ryan bought 4 pineapples, that means he bought 9 apples. So the total number of fruit that he purchased was 4 plus 9, which is equal to 13. And that is the value given in the problem. Continue practicing writing and solving equations, and I'll see you in the next video.